Hey everybody, Poopy's again, and today I'm actually by myself. It's been a while. I did speak to Mustache Man. Don't worry, he'll be back. We both have a lot going on right now, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we can go back to making videos that no one will watch or care about or enjoy. So y'all have that to look forward to. But today it's just my ugly face, and I got another one of those comparison videos that nobody likes. Nobody likes any of the videos. That's fine. Anyways, today we're going to look at two 9mm compact rifles that, you know, I like the concept of a little 9mm carbine, so I'm going to look at two of those today, one of which is, of course, one of those oddballs no one's really heard of or seen before, and I'm pretty sure they don't make them anymore. In fact, I'm almost positive they don't. And we're going to compare it to one of the ones that everyone's heard of and you're familiar with for, you know, the fun of it. So, without further ado, the first one, everyone's heard of this. It's a Kel-Tec Sub2k. This is the Gen 1 because I'm always an early adopter of things, and then they come out with something better, and I'm like, well, I'm not upgrading. So anyways, everyone's heard of the Kel-Tec Sub2k. It is well known. This one, I have a Gen 1, which I've upgraded. I believe this was, what, Red Lion Arms rail, which, that's okay. For a Kel-Tec, it's about what you'd expect. Fun little gun. One of the most fun guns that I personally own to shoot. This one takes the Glock mags, the Glock 9mm mags. They make other models now. Again, this was one of the earlier models, but it takes Glock 17 mags, which is perfect. I mean, that's one of the things that everyone asks for today is, oh, does it take Glock mags? Well, this does. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because everyone knows, or pretty much all gun people are familiar with this. You know, it folds in half. This one is odd because of the upgrades I've done to it, but it still folds in half. It's just a little bit different. I could put a red dot or a grip or something like that. I just never bothered to. I just like the look of it. And the most important thing isn't function or anything, it's how cool it looks. So that's what I've done. I made it look cool. Again, this is just a fun gun to shoot. It's got almost no recoil. You just put it on there, It's fun. One of the most fun guns that I actually own that's enjoyable to shoot and so forth. Very simple and basic. Mags go right into the grip. No problem. Charges in the back, which is extremely awkward and stupid, but I can see why they did that, and it's very compact for what it is. So maybe I should compare it to the other oddball gun. And here we are, the Feather Industries AT-9. It is extremely 80s, as you might notice, which it's an 80s design. I think they were made into the 90s. They take these 25 round Uzi mags, or they're like modified Uzi mags, which they go into the front, unlike the grip mag well of the Kel-Tecs. And there's a crappy little button there. And they have the folding stock, so that it's extremely long. I mean, this is like rifle length. And in fact, overall length, this is about 5 inches longer than the Kel-Tec when fully extended. And in fact, I don't know if you can see this, even collapsed. Let's see if I can get these to even collapse. It's almost the length of the fully extended Kel-Tec. I mean, that's what, 3 inches difference or something. So not as compact as the Kel-Tec, but this is probably more deployable. I didn't try firing it with the stock collapsed. I'm guessing it will work just fine though. Speaking of firing this, it's extremely pleasant. I mean, you're talking no recoil, like 22 caliber recoil. It's just unheard of. You know, the Kel-Tec is fun to shoot. This is like you're not even shooting. You're just pulling the trigger and there's holes on the paper. It's a little bit heavy. It's all aluminum. The sights, actually both of these have the peep sight. This is our aperture sight. I forget what the Kel-Tec originally had because I've modified my front sights. I had trouble picking this up while shooting. My glasses were getting a little foggy, and this rear sight's a little bit hard to pick up when your glasses are foggy. I'm going to collapse this so it can actually fit in the frame a little bit. Well, a little bit. I did mention 22. These came in 22, which I don't know why you'd get this in 22. It feels the same. I guess it'd be cheaper to shoot. But this is a cheap gun anyways. I looked on Gunbroker. I think one was going for about $300 right now. And of course there's a guy trying to get $800 for a mint one. But I don't know, for a cheap gun, this is I mean, it was fun. I can see someone, especially if they have that 80s nostalgia, like they want to really reminisce about that time period.
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Which I totally get. I'm an 80s kid, and I think stuff like this has a lot of I don't know, charm that you don't get from, like, oh look, an AR-15 that's converted to 9mm. Okay, just another one, you know. This is some of that classic like 80s movie nonsense feel and vibe to it, and like I said, it's legitimately fun to shoot. You got this super simple safety. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just right there, and then you're good to go. I already showed you it's got a collapsible stock, which is this little button lever down here, and it's okay. I mean, it's a wire stock. It's not super comfortable, but there's so little recoil on this that it's not like it hurts to shoot it. It's not the most secure lockup on it. Everything else, I mean, it's a super simple, basic thing. There's actually some screws on top. I'm guessing you could put a weaver mount or some similar type thing if you wanted to. But yeah, I could definitely see this being fun, especially if you like maybe threaded the barrel, put something on it. It's super quiet. The action of it, anyways. Let's see if you can hear this. The trigger pull kind of sucks. But that's it. That's the mechanical sound it makes. It's not loud at all. As far as, the mechanical sound of it. To compare the Kel-Tec, which is also not loud at all, but I don't like the charging handle on the Kel-Tec. I don't know if I mentioned that. Mushy. A little bit sharper of a sound. So, I mean, comparatively, this is probably, I guess, what you would call the Kel-Tec of its day, where it's a very simple, robust design. I had problems with this, reliability-wise. I don't know if that was ammo related. I don't know if it was magazine related. I don't know if it was something about the gun. But I did have quite a few malfunctions, and then it was at the end of my shooting day, and I just said, you know what, I don't care anymore. Especially, like I said, I couldn't pick up my target with my Safety Pro on, and I was just like, you know what, it's a long day, I'm going to pack up. I got the gist of it. Very pleasant to shoot when it was running, which was less often than was. What's the opposite of more often than not? Anyways, yeah, again, I had a lot of problems with it. I don't know if that was the mag. I don't know if it was ammo choice. Just, I had problems with it. You can take that for what you will. I didn't have any problems with the Kel-Tec. So, your mileage may vary. You know, if you did find this for $300, maybe $400, I could see you getting it, especially if you like the look and nostalgia and you were able to test fire it and function check it. But you could just save up a few more bucks and get the new generation of Kel-Tecs, and I'm sure you would be just as happy. And, you know, if something on the feather industries breaks, there's not like a part service or anything. You're not going to be... Something like this, you know, I think Kel-Tec's got their own warranties and stuff that you'd be in better shape. But if you just wanted that cool factor, you didn't care about it, yeah, it's totally worth picking up. It's fun to shoot. I don't see why you would choose this over the Kel-Tec, but, you know, from a function standpoint. But as we talk about, looking cool is very important. And if you want to look cool, 80s style, you know, Rambo's coming out again. Maybe you got that itch and you want to get a crappy 80s design pistol caliber carbine, you could do a lot worse. So in summary, guys, if you run across one of those Feather Industries AT-9s and it's cheap and you're feeling frisky, I say go for it. It's fun. But if you're more practical and you're more likely to run into a Kel-Tec used than you are a Feather Industries. So if you run into one of these at a pawn shop or you feel frisky and find one on Gunbroker or something, give it a try. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. It's just not the best. I mean, it's an outdated design. For just a few bucks more, you can get one of these, and you'll probably have just as much, if not more, fun with it. But again, that's what happens when you have a gun designed 30 years after the other one. You know, obviously there's improvements to this and so forth. I think on this particular setup, I think the grip magwell and the more ambidextrous controls, it's a clear function of you know, being an updated design, and you know, you learn from your predecessors' mistakes and what works and what doesn't, and you know, the demands of the market are always improving. But just the compactness and stuff like this is your much better for your backpack gun or truck gun if you're insane. Yeah, so I don't really know what the point of this was, but that's okay. My channel is stupid, and so am I. But hopefully you learned something today, and if you did, well, you're welcome.